Say Something with Mads, where I invite youth every week from across the globe on my channel to share about their passion, about their issues which affect them, and anything and everything what they want to say to other youth. So today it's a special day. Today I have one of my old students, Aayush Kanakia, with me. He's joining from Brighton in UK, and it gives us so much pleasure to talk to a student after such a long time. Welcome, Ayush, to my channel, and I'm so glad you are here today.
Thank you, Miss. I'm very glad to be here. I'm glad to have this opportunity to talk and especially catch up with my teacher. I remember having a lot of memories together. I spent a lot of years together. So I'm glad to have this opportunity to be a part of some initiative that a
Yes.
fellow teachers
Thank
organizing.
you. Thank you.
I'm glad.
And yes, and Ayush is somebody who, even if you pass out, and we have not been in touch with after his 10th, and lot of time has elapsed between, but he still remains in our mind. He was always special, and he had that spark about something different he had, and that connection always remains. And today he has decided to talk on a very important topic, and it is very close to him, and it is very important for youth who are going to listen. But first of all, I want Ayush talk about your journey, where you are, what you are doing, about yourself, little bit in your own words.
Right. So, as you guys know, my name's Aayush Kanakia. Um, Well, I used to study in Diva Patil International School. I've been there all my life. I think from senior KG all the way to 12th. I did DP, 11th and 12th. I got a good score. I passed. Everything was really nice. Very loving family. I used to indulge in a lot of extracurriculars even at school at a very young age. I used to indulge in the football, cricket. I've represented my school in a lot of sports. Won a lot of medals. I'm a state level champion in skating, skiing, and
Hmm.
snowboarding as well.
I didn't know this. I knew about your passion for football was a killer passion for you. Like, okay, anything for football. Like
That is
everything is drawn around football.
yeah. So I've had a lot of sports achievements. Um, However, after I think COVID, I started shifting my point of view towards a more academic strength. I started developing myself more academically, started becoming more like a professional, started concentrating on my hobbies. And that's when I figured out that I should learn something about some things about that's impacting everyone's lives on a large scale. So I concentrated on cybersecurity because that's one of the
Mm-hmm.
most important topics I believe, and one of the most developing as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I spent a lot of time on my own learning through Google, online resources, books, podcasts. I had a very nice mentor who kept helping me every now and then, kept solving doubts. I
Mm-hmm.
signed up for a few courses, but that's after I finished learning on my own, just to prove
Mm-hmm.
myself and just to get a taste of how
Mm-hmm.
others can teach and how you need to wrap yourself around knowledge.
And now, what are you doing right now? Now you are doing mechanical engineer, right? So
Right,
you
right
just
now I'm
spoke about it.
studying mechanical engineering with robotics at the University of Sussex. I'm here on a scholarship, so I guess that's
Oh
something that
wow,
I'll be looking out
that's
for.
amazing. Yeah. You have turned a new leaf after totally into sports and studies, always took a back seat until 10th, I think. And then this change came in Ayush, and I think you are now on scholarship. Wow, amazing. We know that youth of today and young children of today spend more than 45 hours a week on social media. So
Right.
this topic you chose is so very important. Just take us through what is this that children who are very at a very young age want to get onto social media, and they fake their age and get onto social media at age of 13. It's supposed to be at 13, right? TikTok and all that, they want to get onto that, but there are a lot of things which they are not aware. as a person who deals with cybercrime, cybersecurity, what would you tell the parents and the children who are listening about this topic, and why you especially want to speak on this topic today?
Kids logging onto social media and faking their age, that's technically a cybercrime.
Mm-hmm.
However, these things are overlooked and people take it lightly because it happens at a large scale and it's really hard to monitor. It's really hard to verify who's telling
Mm-hmm.
the truth and who's not telling the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, being one of those people who faked his own age at the very time when he wanted to log on to
Yeah.
social media, I believe the world is changing now. People are becoming more mature at a younger age, and hence I think they should be open towards everything. As for parents, they can always guide their children, but they can't make anybody or make their children do stuff. They can always suggest, they can always guide, but it's always going to be up to the person to do it, whether or
Mm-hmm.
not. So I think
Okay.
it is a bad thing. I've seen a lot of people fake it, and
Mm-hmm.
it's sometimes it's a good thing because it's alarming at an early age that how much of a distraction it could be. Um, so if they make some mistakes earlier in life, it's easier for them as they move on ahead, and they can learn
Mm-hmm.
from it. Hopefully, um, having a good cyber security background and being a professional in it, I believe I don't think government should introduce more safety measures with people faking their age to get onto social media apps. However, they should be more wise with the security checks they have because
Mm-hmm.
students from social media, they log on to a lot of adult websites, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
things that are not meant for them at a particular age. So social media leads on to another, one thing leads on to another, and I believe social media is the crux.
Also, I think because other than, I'm not talking about other ill effect of social media, I'm talking about they can fall prey to people who ungullibly, they don't know whom they are speaking to at such a young age. They don't have any background of what cybercrime, what are the things which can go wrong. Do you think at such a young age there should be some, as they say, there are in schools they can have some classes or some sort of getting do's and don'ts of social media, rather than they googling it or looking at from parents, and parents just saying don't go, don't be on the social media, it's bad. But why, what are the ill effects? So if we can take, do you think that there is necessary, it is sometimes necessary to have an expert, maybe like somebody like you who deals with the cybercrime or bullying, cyberbullying and all, they can come and talk to the children in school, or maybe tell them more about like setting a strong password, etc. What are the things they can do to safeguard their account? What do you say?
Absolutely. Having a more educated background about cybersecurity and social media would be far more beneficial for students as well
Mm,
as other members of verified age or below age. Either way, it can always be more beneficial. There's always a lot to learn. Um, you spoke about passwords and stuff. There's not much I can say about that. It's just having like a strong password should be a good way to protect
mm.
yourself. However, there are a lot of people who misuse social media by identity theft. They
Yeah.
portray themselves as to be someone else and chat with the person. It can be
Mm,
someone who likes someone or someone who's after someone's money, someone who wants to
mm,
commit fraud, commit a crime. It can be all sorts
mm,
of things. Better that children of young age make the mistake earlier as compared to
mm,
making it later because they would have a less of an impact at an
mm,
early stage. Kids nowadays, as I've experienced myself, they're more people who want to learn by trial and error, by experiencing it
mm.
themselves. So no matter how
Actually.
much you explain to them, there's
Mm,
a very less likely chance that they would listen to you.
mm,
So I don't know,
mm,
out of 100 people, probably 10% may listen to you. The other
mm,
90% are either way going to go and try it out. So that's what I've seen, that's what
mm,
I've heard, because I was one of them as well. Even with my
mm,
cybersecurity um,
mm,
skills. I turned out to make my own company, but initially
mm,
my parents were really scared about me going into the wrong lines. Me because there's a
mm.
very thin line between an ethical
Thin
hacker
line.
and the unethical hacker. So they were always scared. What if I never understood the thin line difference and went to the wrong
Mm,
side? But
mm,
I did make a mistake a few times as well. I paid the price, but that's how I got to learn. I wouldn't
mm,
elaborate on that, but that's how I got to learn, and that's how I improved upon myself. In spite of them telling me, I never stopped. And I think
mm.
that me making a mistake taught me a whole lot more than what my parents were trying to explain to me. Even though it was for the
True.
good, even though it was the right thing, but I learned more than what I heard from them. And
Mm,
that's what made me a successful person today. So I
mm.
think making that mistake and trying a trial and error thing is a good thing.
Person who from the cybersecurity cell, if they come and talk about these issues, I think people are going to be just more aware about it, because there are many gullible youngsters who can fall prey to these people. You were strong enough and you had your own, you were
Right.
inclined to learn through those mistakes. Many people may not. So, talking about that, I remember that you had, at a very young age, I said you started experimenting with hacking and all, and you went on to work for Government of India. Tell us about how did all this happen, and you won some awards, and you did a lot of work for them. So take us through that phase where you actually started contributing to Information and Technology Ministry with your work of hacking, and what all did you did?
Um, I initially started learning on my own. I surfed the
Yes.
internet, surfed a lot of books, asked a lot of people around. As much as information I could gather, I was always hungry for knowledge about
Okay.
cybersecurity. So that I think my hunger led me from one place to another. And eventually, when I thought my knowledge was apt, um, I enrolled for a course under my mentor. Um, and I gave him like I made like a deal that if I could hack it, so all these cybersecurity firms have a dummy server. It's for practicing
Ah,
hacking. So I made a deal that without taking any of your courses, I will break into the server within 3 days. So he made me a deal as well. So he agreed to that, and I did it within 1.5 day. So he was really impressed with me, and he started throwing projects in my way. He's like, maybe you can
mm,
handle this, maybe you can handle this. I started small, obviously, but then eventually I
mm.
started successfully um, being
And
at
how
part
old
of
were
the
you
project.
at this when you were doing all this? How old were you?
I
Which
think I
grade?
was 15, 16 when I started
Okay.
working. When I started working, I was around 15 or 16, but I started
Okay.
learning at a very young age, around 12, 13.
So talk about the work which you did for Government of India.
Right. I did a few projects like the pink WhatsApp and the barcode scam that was happening
Ah, yeah,
during.
yeah. What is Pink WhatsApp?
Pink WhatsApp was like an application available off the store, like the Play Store or the App Store.
Mm,
It was just like a spy application. It had the exact functions of a normal WhatsApp. However, all the information was being spied upon by hackers or by phishers. Um, so that
mm,
was Pink WhatsApp, and I'm not at liberty to talk about it much in detail,
mm,
but
mm.
that's all I can say.
Barcode thing, what you were saying, the scanning of that is also something very interesting if you can want to share.
Right, right, right. So absolutely. I don't know if people remember, but during COVID, rest
Uh-huh.
when restaurants had just opened up. I mean, I think after the second or the third lockdown, and they were really they were taking precautions with not spreading this disease, and they started handing out e-menus instead of menu cards. So when every time a person sat on the table, ordered food, they had to scan a barcode in order to view the menu. And
Mm-hmm.
there were instances and there were complaints we got that previous customers stuck another fake barcode over the barcode. So every
Okay.
time another person after them scanned the barcode, they would be redirected to a third party website where money from your bank account may be transferred out without your
Mm,
knowledge. There will be a malicious file that will be downloaded onto your phone. Uh,
mm,
all these things are without your knowledge, and these malicious files being downloaded onto your phone are used in spying on you. They can
Mm.
access your camera, they can access your call records, your call talks.
It's scary, but it's never ending. Like one after another, it comes. So my biggest like learning about this topic of phishing came from the Netflix series Jamtara. Have you
Right.
seen that? So that's something which is so bizarre, how a group of young people are making lakhs of rupees by just calling, and then all the thing just opened up. And uh, what do you have to say about that? Did you experience anything like that, and what do you have to say about this topic of phishing?
Well, I haven't watched Jamtara,
Okay,
firstly.
you watch it because there's something your genre.
Right. But fishing, I think, is a skill. I believe fishers, um, so basically, phishing is nothing but sending fake links to a person
Mhm.
and
Mm.
making them believe that this link is true, is original, and to make a
Yeah.
transaction or provide credentials voluntarily. That's phishing. So phishing requires something that is very hard to find now. It requires the art of social engineering. Social
Mm.
engineering is nothing but convincing, the ability to convince someone into giving up personal data or private
Yeah,
credentials.
and the way you talk and way you
Exactly.
engage, the way you read the
Exactly.
mind of the people, what they actually need. They're too busy to go to the bank, so you tell them something which they will agree to give their number. I mean, there are so many things involved in this. Yeah.
Exactly. So phishing is really deep, and I don't think anyone can master it 100%. Um, I have met a lot of cybersecurity specialists in my life, and there's always more to learn from one person or the other.
Mm.
You'll never
Mm.
know enough. Um,
Mm.
Phishing cannot be, it can be constrained to, it can't be constrained to like a Netflix password or breaking into your email or breaking into your Amazon account. It's used for embezzling money. It's used to break into NASA websites. It's used to break into satellites as well. uh, Basic phishing. And
Oh
it
my
amuses
God.
me with the same thought that how can someone call a NASA executive and convince them to give up private credentials? So these things are really shocking, but like I said, it's the art.
Ayush, tell me about this branch of cybersecurity and cybercrime and all. Is there something children can, students, young people can learn this from somewhere? Is there some course available from university or somewhere? How do people who want to learn more about this actually take degrees in this and really work in this field? What are the options for there in India?
In India, India is known as the cyber hub now. It's
Mm,
developed a lot in its IT perspectives.
mm.
However, there is no college degree specifically designed for cybersecurity. Uh,
Okay. Do you
if
think there's a
anyone,
need for that?
no, definitely
Okay.
not. Because
Okay.
if there was a degree for cybersecurity, there would be like a proper syllabus. So a
And
person
you have to
studying
give out everything for
cybersecurity,
that.
yeah, absolutely. That as far as it's being educated, as far as being taught for the right person. But I think having a more constrained syllabus would
Hmm.
keep you restricted to some area in cybersecurity. It would not enable you to expand more. But
Okay, got
if you
it.
learn on your own, if you keep asking yourself questions, if you keep asking other people questions, if you keep solving crisis issues or something like that, it would always
Hmm.
help you, it would always enable you to learn more about stuff, and it would always drown you deeper in the oceans of cybersecurity. So I would say it's good that there is no degree, and there is no degree as such, and I wouldn't want it to become a degree
The other ways. Okay.
or a
You
certified course.
correct. About this topic we had spoken. Now I need to know about you, Ayush, as a person. Ayush, if you have to write a book on yourself, what would be the title of that book?
Um, if I had to write a book about myself, so I think I'm very uh, inspired by Adolf Hitler. Well,
Oh,
I understand the evilness he portrayed and the mass
his
murdering and
psychology.
everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But
So what?
I read his book called Mein Kampf.
Yes.
So Mein Kampf stands for my journey in German. So I think I would like to name my book Mein Kampf as well. So
Did you learn Germany because of your fascination with Hitler?
no, 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 absolutely not. I wanted to
Or
pursue
because of the automobile industry?
for the automobile engineer industry.
So, this is a hypothetical question. I want to hear what you have to say. If you have to take three people out for dinner whom you don't know, anybody from anywhere around the world, who
Right.
would those three people be and where would you take them?
That's a good question. That's a thinker, that one. Um, I don't know. I cherish power, so I'd say I would take the most powerful three people out on a dinner.
Okay,
So
okay,
I don't know, maybe Putin. He's a superpower
okay,
as well. I would definitely take Donald Trump.
okay.
Yeah, I like the way he thinks. I like the way he thinks. He's very bold. He's very blunt. Um, I guess, and I would take my father along. I'm always inspired by my father. I always idolize him. I've always got a lot to learn from him. No matter what he says, I'm smarter than him. I'm smarter than him, but he's my father. I have to learn loads from him. So I
Oh
would
my.
take these three people out on a dinner, probably.
And where would you take them? What's your favorite destination or a place somewhere you
Um,
want this rendezvous to happen?
I don't know. So I'm a fan of local street food. So I would definitely make them go to a local street food restaurant. Give Joe Biden a taste. Give Donald Trump
All
and everything
right,
a taste.
all right. I think you are meant for bigger things. You have taken Putin, you have taken Donald Trump and your dad for it. So you learn from all of them, and who knows, all this mixture will make you into a world leader one day. And wish to
No, no,
see
no,
that
no.
there is something happening there.
I wouldn't
Okay,
want to lead the world personally. I wouldn't want to lead the world.
who is your greatest inspiration and why?
My father. There's no undoubtedly is my father. Without my father, I would be nothing. I would be nowhere. Um,
Okay.
Mainly
What's that
because of
quality which you think you make him his you idolize? Which quality?
sacrifice. Sacrifice. Everyone says that fathers sacrifice for their children. In ways that they don't even know, they won't even understand until they become fathers. Um, but yeah, so like people say in life, in order to go somewhere, in order to gain something, you have to lose something. So you've got to sacrifice onto something if you want to go up or go somewhere else that you desperately want to go.
And you have seen this quality in your dad.
Yeah, and I've seen that quality in my dad. Even with me, if he wants me to reach somewhere, if he wants me to reach at a point, he'll sacrifice on everything on spare time he's got or some anything at all for himself to make me reach there. Because that's what
Wow. So,
I think is his main motive all the time. Let me make my son go somewhere. Let me make my son do that. Let me make my son do that. So I think
okay.
sacrifice and my dad. Yeah.
And I'm sure when this interview is going to be published, made public, he would be the happiest person to know that. Do you tell him often that he is your hero?
Um well, honestly, my dad and I are like we're really hard on each other sometimes. I say a lot of
Okay.
things. He says a
But
lot
through
of things.
this
We
platform is
never
going
open up. We never open up to each other. Never. Not. I mean, the only thing I started my business in the first place was seeking these three words from him. I always wanted to listen to my father that I am proud of you, but I never got to
ah,
hear it. I never got to hear it, and that
yes.
ate me alive every day. I couldn't sleep at night. It used to be an itch on my mind, and
Ah,
that's why I did
I'm
what I
sure.
did. I'm
I'm
sure
sure
he's
he
proud of me. I'm sure he's proud of me
he
and all.
is
But
going to be after this. Which father and mother would want this from their child to say that you don't want to look for heroes outside your hero, your inspiration is right in the
yeah, so
house. Now, Ayush, now's the time of role reversal. You got to ask me a question. You can ask anything you want. That's up to you. So, okay, I'm ready.
well, Miss, like I said, I have a lot of inspirations in life, and you're one of them as well. I've been your student for a good 8 9 years of school. I was
Thank you
afraid
so
of you. I was intimidated sometimes in your class. So I wanted to ask you one thing, Miss. You
Okay.
actually taught me chemistry, and then you moved on to teaching us GP, and then you moved on to so many endeavors in your life, and absolutely fantastic. I'm amazed by every one of them. So I wanted to ask you, Miss, how can you multitask? How can you? I don't know how to frame it perfectly, but
Okay.
like, how did you
Okay.
move on from one place to another, from the
Yeah.
second to a third, like so
Correct.
quickly, so robustly, and such fantastically?
Yeah, but now that you're asking this question, made me think that I always did so many things not expected of me, and suddenly I change and I keep doing. Ayush, the most important thing is like what you love doing at that moment. I don't think, okay, I'm doing this, I will continue loving this, and forever I'm going to be master in something. That's not what I'm looking at. I'm looking at not being a master, but I would rather be a jack of a lot of trades, and I don't have any qualms of saying that I'm maybe master of none.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
for me to
absolutely.
try out, life is all about experiencing. Who knows what clicks where? So keep trying, never close the door, and never think that, oh, that's not meant for me. I'm a science student, I can't do arts. I'm an art student, I can't do science. So these are all man made barriers in our mind. Just go where your heart takes you and do what you want to do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely,
that was a
absolutely,
very good
absolutely.
question. That's amazing. Okay, Ayush, now coming to, we are quite at the end of our interview, and I would ask you that you said you have read about a lot of books about your cybercrime and cybersecurity. What else you do? What are the other things which has inspired you? Any podcasts you see? Any movies which come to your mind that the children should, youngsters should see to get inspired? Or maybe any book you read, any person, whom they should follow, and what is your like, whenever you are confused or something, you go to
Mhm.
that person or listen to that podcast. Who would that be?
So, I had a really good mentor. His name was Mr. Rizwan Sheikh.
Okay.
Um, he's India's top three hackers. He's one of the top three hackers in India.
Okay.
He only takes private projects from CBI and all government branches up the
Wow.
top-notch branches. He's always been my mentor, and he's the one I always run to for help. In
Ah.
cybersecurity areas, always, and he's always there. He's always one call away. Yes, I have read a lot of books. I've had a lot of channels to visit on YouTube on more concise tutorials and stuff. So
Okay.
a very fantastic book was The Art of Invisibility.
Okay.
It was related to cybersecurity, obviously, but
Mm.
it shows how to be invisible and still be under the shadows. So be a
Mm.
hacker, but at the same time be invisible. So, like I said, it's a very thin line of difference. It depends on how
Mm.
you use it. But yeah, that book took me wonders. And there are a lot of baby books as well, like noob books.
Mm.
In cybersecurity, we call them noob books. So it
Okay.
teaches basic stuff, how to operate multiple operating systems and
Mm.
Python and stuff like that.
What about you consider somebody as your spiritual guru from where you learned? You were just mentioning God Gopal Das. So what have you learned from him and how he inspires you?
Well, I think he's inspired a lot of people. He's written a book as well called
Yes.
The Atomic Habits. I've read that as well. A lot of his social media reels are quite inspirational, and I think a few of them just I stuck in my head. They're just jammed all my other senses when I think about it, and it makes a lot of sense to me. One of them was that life is B, from starts from B and ends at D. Life is B to D. So B stands for birth, D stands for death, and C is for choice. Choice is the kind of person you want to be. That's one of those
Mm.
things. And
So beautifully put. It's just so
exactly,
beautiful, so
exactly.
thoughtful. Yeah.
And
And yeah, yeah,
and the
lovely.
second one was, if you're a well-known person, people will always ask you, how are you? But if you're not such a well-known person, people will always ask you, who are you? So that quote always made me, um, I don't know, always made me want to be a more successful
That
person, to
person.
be more professional in my field and academically, professionally anyway.
So the best in the field, so that people know that, yeah, when you
Yeah.
ask, this is so inspirational. A single quote can change your life. Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. So,
absolutely.
yeah,
So, so Ayush, with
absolutely.
this, I've had a long chat with you, and I've listened to your journey, and all your views on cybercrime, and also get to know you after so many years. So, I wish you all the best, and I wish you go and learn automobile engineering. I think that's your dream, to be in Germany, and one day you will fulfill it. And don't forget to learn Germany as German language, as you will
Uh,
eventually end up going there, I'm sure, because you are very focused now, and I can see this bright future ahead of you. So, thank you once again for coming on my channel. Some last words from you, Ayush.
Thank you very much. In fact, Miss, I say the pleasure is mine to be on this channel. Yeah, so I'm just glad that I have someone who really cared about me, really cared about my journey to come forth after so long, and ask me, Ayush, how are you? Like, would you like to, speak up about it? Would you like to be a part of such an initiative? And absolutely fantastic, brilliant initiative, I would say. It
Thank you.
gets a lot of thoughts of young readers, young tucks out there. It makes them open themselves and makes them understand how the
Yes.
world is, how other people are. So I'd say it's a fantastic thing, and Miss, I never doubted your ability, so I think you'll reach wonders.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being there for me always. Whenever I asked you, you were always ready to there. That's what the connection is, and I hope it continues forever. Thank you so much, viewers.
Thank
And
you.
we will bring such young, talented youth next week and week after week for you on my channel. Say Something with Maths. Do subscribe and leave comments how you like this interview. Thank you, and see you again next week. Bye, Ayush. Take care.
Hi, Miss. Thank you. Thank you very much.